Hello there, 2025 is coming to a close, so it is time to look back at the year in Star Wars. This isn't going to be a list of everything that came out this year, but more my personal year with Star Wars and the things that I experienced and the things I engaged with this year. So let's get started. Also, I apologize, this video is going to look a little bit weird because it is incredibly hot and I refuse to turn the big light on in this room. Today it's like 39 degrees at the moment. I'm actually also going to turn the fan on, so there might be a slight humming in the background. I apologize. I ain't doing this without it though. This isn't going to be in complete chronological order. Skeleton Crew finished up its run in the beginning of the year in January. The last two episodes, I believe, released in January. I talked about this show a lot last year, so I won't really stick on it too long here. What a charming little show. I really enjoyed it. Goonies in space. The kids were all great. Neil and Neil's dad were some of my favorites. And I don't know, I just had a really fun time with this show. I got to give them props for how they handled the character of Jodnar Narwood. I was waiting for him to turn into the whole pirate with the heart of gold, he's not really evil shtick, and it never did. He stuck to being the quote-unquote bad guy the entire time, which both surprised me and delighted me. No news on a second season yet. Personally, I think they should wait 5 years, age all the kids up and then do another season with them as teenagers. I think that would be kind of fun. Them going out into the galaxy during the New Republic. That could be interesting to me. I don't particularly need a second season soon, but I'm not going to say no to one. But I also won't be disappointed if they choose not to continue at all. But overall, Skeleton Crew was a good time. Andor Season 2. What is there to say about this show that hasn't already been said? I'll preface this by saying I do not think this was a perfect show. I absolutely have some issues with it, with its pacing, things that occur off screen, character motivations. I don't think it's a perfect show by any means. But damn, do I still think this is some of the highest quality TV we've gotten, both within Star Wars and outside of it. Like, this was just incredible television for me. The Gorman arc, the arc on Gorman, those episodes are just some of the most poignant I've seen, not just in Star Wars, but in television in general. Like, those episodes packed a punch. The political thriller aspect of this show, the spycraft, the action when it finally breaks out after being built up for so long, the grittiness of it all, characters like Kleya and Luthen and Mon Mothma are just all handled so incredibly well that they've become some of my favorites in the whole franchise. I can't say enough good things about this show. I think I'm happy that they decided to end it after 2 seasons. They had a plan. After it was originally 5 seasons, they scaled it back to 2, and I think they did incredibly well. Some of those time restraints that is put on it, being 4 seasons technically condensed into 1, you can see it happen, and that's where some of my pacing issues come from. But at the same time, like, it works, you know? I can't say enough good things about this show. I've watched it several times this year already. I plan to do so continuing into next year. Andor proves that just Star Wars can be many things. It doesn't have to stick to one genre. It doesn't have to be one flavor. You can have your more adult-focused, mature TV. You can have your adventure of the week with The Mandalorian. You can have your space adventure sort of drawing on the animated material with Ahsoka. You can have your animated shows. You can have all these different flavors of Star Wars, and Andor just proves that, in my opinion. I love it. Yeah, look, it's bloody hot here in Australia. I need to go change my shirt. Just give me a sec. Huh, Star Wars Celebration. Yeah, actually, while we're on the topic of it, it has been a bucket list item of mine to go to a Star Wars Celebration, and the stars finally aligned in 2025 for us to be able to go and do that with Star Wars Celebration Japan. I say this without hyperbole. I had the best week of my life ever in Japan this year. We spent 3 days at Star Wars Celebration. The following 4 days we spent at Disneyland and Disney Sea. I proposed to my girlfriend and got engaged. It was legitimately the best week of my life. I had so much fun. Finally walking into the convention center on the Friday morning, it was both overwhelming and exciting and just a feeling I will never forget. You know, I've been to Supernova here in Australia. We have Australian Comic Cons. They're very small scale compared to what's going on over in the rest of the world. We have PAX, but having an entire convention for 3 days just dedicated to all things Star Wars was just an experience I'd never forget. And it felt like it was just tailor-made for me. I got to meet up with friends who I'd never met in real life, who I'd only ever met through TikTok or YouTube. I got to meet all new people and make friends and go get food and watch panels with them. I sat around talking with 2 Japanese guys on the Saturday morning in line about Revenge of the Sith for like an hour. And they'd made a big birthday sign card to give to Hayden Christensen, and they were getting as many people as they could to sign it, and they asked me to sign it, and I was the first one to sign it, which was really fun. I also got to speak Japanese with them, and they said, and I quote, "You're doing okay." I still got a lot of practice to do to really get that language around my head. It's a little bit difficult for me. But just seeing everyone there, all the merch, the announcements, the cosplay, meeting like authors that I've been reading, whose books I've been reading for years, meeting and buying art from artists whose work I've been following, getting a photo with Ahmed Best, standing in the Star Wars Live section in the audience and seeing people just come out on stage like Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Ryan Gosling, Manny Jacinto, like they were all just right there. And it's just not something I'd really experienced before. We got a lot of fun announcements there, like Star Wars Zero Company, Star Wars Starfighter, Maul Shadow Lord, and more, which I will talk about in my Star Wars in 2026 video, which I'll be doing in a day or two. But again, I just had the best time at this convention. Talking about Star Wars online can be a bit of a minefield. The internet gives everyone this anonymity. Everyone is like instantly hostile to you if you say, hey, I liked this thing or I didn't like this thing, and then someone's always there with the opposite opinion to call you a fucking idiot. It just wasn't like that there. Everyone was there for the love of Star Wars, and it didn't matter which Star Wars you loved. If it was the old stuff, it was the new stuff, whatever. Everyone was just there to share their love of Star Wars, and it was incredible. I have 2 videos up on the channel that you can go check out from that trip. One is like a bit of a vlog thing for Star Wars Celebration. I ended up losing a bunch of footage that I recorded while I was over there because I thought I had it all backed up and then deleted some to make space. Turned out I didn't actually back it up, my bad. So it's a little bit all over the place and not super complete of that event. And then there's another one which was a Star Wars Black Series toy hunt video that I did over in Japan, which was really fun as well. You can go check those both out now. If you ever get the chance to go to Celebration, do it, because it's unlike anything else I've ever experienced. Sadly, we won't be attending Star Wars Celebration over in America in 2027, traveling from Australia to America right now. No joke, it's so expensive. We looked up the prices between our Japan trip and the American trip, and to make the same kind of trip to America for Star Wars Celebration is going to cost us 5 times the amount that we spent to go to Japan. Yeah, so not really going to happen for us, but that's okay. Celebration 2025, honestly, one of the best times of my life. Revenge of the Sith had its 20th anniversary this year, which I caught in theaters on its last day here in Australia, because I think it came out whilst we were in Japan, and when I came back, finally had settled down and gotten back into its rhythm, I was like, okay, I'll go see it, and I got it on the last day. That was a really fun time. I had pretty much the entire cinema to myself. There was only like 2 other people there, I think. It was a fun time. Good to see it up on the big screen again. Haven't watched it on the big screen, obviously, since I was like 15. I still think it's an alright movie. The best of the prequels by far. Still a little bit messy, still a little bit clunky, but a pretty great time on the big screen. The books and comics that came out this year were decently fun for me, at least the ones that I engaged with. I'm pretty far behind on my reading, I'm not gonna lie. Video games have been eating up a lot of my free time lately. My favorite Star Wars book this year that came out was Reign of the Empire: The Mask of Fear by Alexander Freed, who just so happens to be my favorite author in the current Star Wars canon. If you want a book that reads and feels like Andor, this is the guy you gotta go to. It's It's set in the first year of the formation of the Galactic Empire, and it has Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and Saw Gerrera as its principal characters as they maneuver in this new political climate that has been birthed from this destruction and the ashes of the old one. It's a dense read, it can be a little bit dry and slow at times, but it's a style that I personally love and one that I actually think suits the subject matter that it's talking about. Plus, I just love Mon Mothma in anything at this point. I've literally put on the Mon Mothma dancing for 1 hour video just in the background, have something playing while I'm working sometimes. But yeah, this book, check it out if you haven't, it was my favorite of the year. The High Republic concluded with Phase 3 this year with Into the Light by Claudia Gray and Trials of the Jedi by Charles Soule. I was not blown away by the ending for the High Republic. This journey that I've been on with the High Republic for the last, 3 or 4 years has been incredibly fun. I've really enjoyed it. Lots of new characters, a brand new era to explore. It's a great series. Despite the naysayers online, I honestly, look, no offense, I don't think some of y'all have read it. I do think there were a couple of missteps made towards the ending and wrapping up parts of this story, but overall, I was satisfied with how it ended and how it got wrapped up, while still leaving a couple of loose threads that could still be pulled on if they wanted to continue in some side stories, which I do believe they are going to be doing with some comics at some point. As for other reading, I have fallen behind on a lot of the new canon books that came out this year. I have not yet read Sanctuary, a Bad Batch novel. I have not read The Last Order. I'm almost finished Master of Evil, which I'm enjoying so far. I spent a lot of the year buying older books from both Legends and canon that I hadn't read that were just missing from my collection. I also started rereading the New Jedi Order, which has been an absolute blast to return to because I haven't read those books since I was a kid. And I know I definitely didn't read all 17, 18, 19 books, however many is in the series, so I'm looking forward to going through and seeing which ones I never actually read. So that's been really fun. On the comic book side, Legacy of Vader has been my go-to for the comics this year. It's Kylo Ren between the events of episodes 8 and 9. It has just legitimately been fantastic. It's written by Charles Soule, who also did Trials of the Jedi for the High Republic. It's been honestly one of my favorites from the Marvel run. If you are a fan of the character or if you think Kylo Ren needs a little bit more in his character, check this one out. It's honestly fantastic. Jedi Knights has also been fun, although I'm not in love with the structure of that series. Each one is almost like a one-shot, while there is like an overarching story taking place, but the structure can make the pacing of it all feel a little bit odd. I'll admit I've only read like 2-3 issues maybe of the mainline Star Wars run that started this year. It is post Return of the Jedi, which I do like. I just sort of ran out of time and never got back to it, but I also haven't really heard a lot of people speaking to its quality, so I might not really be missing much, but I'll get back around to it eventually. There's a couple other things that I really need to catch up on. I think Boba Fett has a new mini-series out, which I haven't gotten around to, and I think there was a new manga this year that came out as well, which I haven't gotten to yet either. I'll get there eventually, but yeah, there's definitely some stuff to check out. But in terms of books, my favorites, Reign of the Empire and Legacy of Vader. Tales of the Underworld also came out. This was a 6-episode miniseries, obviously in the Tales series. I've done Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, now Tales of the Underworld. This one had 3 episodes of Asajj Ventress, 3 episodes about Cad Bane. We got to watch the first episode of this over in Japan at Star Wars Celebration, which was incredible. It was so cool to see Quinlan Vos acknowledged by Star Wars that he exists again, and we're getting a Black Series of him next year, hell yes. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Asajj Ventress episodes, and I thought the Cad Bane ones were fine. My opinion or how I looked at Cad Bane didn't really change by the end of his 3 episodes, but I liked the little journey that Asajj went on with the Padawan that she sort of picks up, and I want to see more of that, if I'm being honest. Not a heap to say about this. I enjoyed it. I think the animation looks fantastic. It's just getting better and better. And watching it up on a huge screen like we did at Celebration, it is gorgeous on like a cinema screen. It is beautiful. It was incredible. And it was so much fun to watch it with a full crowd of people. That was amazing. I'm not going to sit here and say like they're the highlight of the year or anything like that, but getting a Tales series in May is a lot of fun and I've really enjoyed them and I hope the trend continues. Star Wars Visions Volume 3 came out, which was, as always, a wonderfully weird time. I did a video not too long ago on Visions Volume 3, so you can go check that one out if you want. Really fun series. I love the creativity behind these episodes. I love the animation styles and the craziness that some of them get up to. The Ronin returned in a prequel episode to The Duel from Volume 1. Kara from The Ninth Jedi in Volume 1 also has a continuation, which will also be getting a full series next year. And then there were episodes like Black, which were just an acid trip of a time with just insanity on the screen for 10 minutes. I love Visions. I hope a Volume 4 is announced soon because it's legitimately one of my favorite things that they're actually doing with Star Wars at the moment. It's a lot of fun. I think there was Lego Star Wars. I think it was what was called Pieces of the Past, Rebuild the Galaxy. I'm not really going to talk about this for super long because it's going to be exactly what I said with the last miniseries that came out. It was legitimately funny. I had a great time with it, and it had no right to really be as entertaining as it was. It's just a silly little thing that you can throw on and watch in an afternoon. Can't be mad at it. In terms of video games, Star Wars Outlaws had its Pirate's Fortune DLC, which featured Hondo Ohnaka. I have not finished this DLC yet. I started it and then just got sidetracked by the mountain of games coming out in 2025. I liked Outlaws, I love Hondo. 2025 was just stacked with video games. I will get back to it. I'm going to fire it up over the Christmas break and play through it and try not to get too distracted by Kessel Sabak. My god, that minigame has a hold on me. I'm looking forward to returning to it though. Other video game news that we got this year though was announcements. We got Star Wars Zero Company at Star Wars Celebration, and not long ago at the Game Awards we had Fate of the Old Republic and Galactic Racer announced. Galactic Racer coming out next year, Fate of the Old Republic before 2030 apparently, but I'll talk about those other two more in the 2026 video. Another fun thing we got to do with Star Wars this year was we got to go to the Sydney Opera House and watch A New Hope played with a live orchestra. Star Wars invited us out to go and see that. That was an absolute blast. It really changes the feeling hearing that music's just swelling all around you. What a fun night, and that movie just kicks ass. I went to Sydney Supernova back in June, and I spent a lot of the time filming and talking to a lot of Star Wars cosplayers there. That was a fun video to get to, just to sort of talk to the community and see everyone's costumes. That was really fun. That's another one you can go check out. And that's kind of it, I think. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. While the year may not have been as content heavy as people would have liked, I really had a blast with Star Wars this year. I had so much fun with the books I engaged with, the shows and the comics, the events I went to, especially Star Wars Celebration. I'm kind of biased because that really just made my whole year. It was great. I had a great time. I met a lot of people that I'm still keeping in contact with, and as someone who is incredibly introverted, that's saying something. It was a really fun year for me. 2026 is also shaping up to be a pretty cool one for Star Wars, with it finally returning to theaters with The Mandalorian and Grogu, but again, I'll talk about that more in my 2026 video. But for now, thanks for watching. That was my personal year with Star Wars in 2025. You can follow me here and over on my TikTok. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you, always.